Good morning guys, and welcome to another video here from the Balkans here in Europe. Today we are in a new country. We are in the country of Bosnia and Herzegovina, and we are in the capital city Sarajevo, and there's no doubt about it, this place has got some incredible food that you're not going to find anywhere else in the Balkans. I mean, there's some foods that of course they do share with other Balkan countries, but for the most part we're going to try and find some of the most unique and interesting foods that are on offer here in Bosnia. I'm really excited because this is my first time in this country and I've heard great things about Bosnian cuisine. So without further ado, I can't wait to share the cuisine of this country here with you. Let's go ahead and get eating in this beautiful city of Sarajevo. Yes. Comfy? Yeah. Yeah.
You want to eat here?
Yes, eat here. Oh, that's enough. Yeah, just this. Alright, for breakfast today we've come to a place known as Burek Olympic. I think that's how you say it. It is a classic Burek shop here in Sarajevo. And I've been to many Balkan countries. I've had a lot of Burek before, but here it's a little different. Usually when you get Burek, you get it in a pie. But here it's like rolls and rolls and rolls. Like they're almost like spring rolls, almost is the best way I can put it. And interestingly, they have a few types. They've got quite a few types. I've got, of course, the classic meat, but for the first time I've actually seen a potato burek. I've actually never seen potato burek before, so that seems really interesting. Now, the whole price of this was like $5.20 markup, which is really affordable. It's like $3, less than $3. I could have gotten less. I just didn't know how to say it, or I don't know. I didn't really cross the language barrier to tell them I didn't need that much. But if you want, you don't have to get this portion. It is a very big portion, and the burek here, it will fill you up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to first go ahead and dig in. I want to try the potato one first. The potato one looks amazing. You can see there are like chunks of potato in it that are literally on the verge of falling out, but they look so nicely cooked. Like he's got these trays of these like rolls of burek there that are absolutely incredible. So let's go ahead and try it out. That is delicious. The potatoes have this really earthy but well-seasoned flavor. They've got it salted, they've made sure it's seasoned. It's got this earthiness that you get from only potato, and it contrasts well with very crispy dough on the outside. I don't know, I've never had potato burek before, but now that I've had it, I'm not going back. This is really, really good. And the thing is, the potato isn't boiled until it's paste. You still got its sort of structure of the little cubes of potato there, and sort of still keep its sort of shape and its texture. That's really, really good. I can't get over how good the potato burek is. It's surprising to me. It's really shocking to me how good potato burek is, because I've never had it before. I've always had meat burek usually. But speaking of meat burek, I also had to get some meat burek because I couldn't stop myself from getting it. I had to get some. You see here again, same thing. It's like falling out at the end of the roll. The meat is about to fall out. So let's go ahead and try out some meat burek. That is really good stuff. That meat burek is delicious because the flavor of the meat is seeping into the actual flakiness of the dough on the outside. What I find here about the burek here is that the dough is not as crispy as it is in other countries, but it's also a thinner layer, so it like wraps everything up almost literally like a roll. That doesn't happen in other countries. Like if you get Serbia, for example, it's a very thick but very crispy layer of dough, and it's made into like a pie, like a cake almost. Here, because of the way they're making the burek into these rolls, it affects the way the sort of taste and the texture of it works, which honestly, it works in the favor of the burek. It turns out really, really well. No complaints at all. It's just really, really different from other bureks I've had here in this part of the world before. But very interesting. Honestly, between the meat and the potato, I can't tell you which one to get. They're both really, really good. And there's a reason actually I think most people here get potato, not the meat one, because their potato ones are really, really darn good. So if I were you, come here, get both. Get the meat, get the potato. They also have some other options as well. But this place is a classic institution. It's, morning on a weekday. Locals are coming out here, having some burek. that is the way to do breakfast here in Sarajevo. That was delicious, Burek. The one thing I'll tell you is don't underestimate the portions. Get what you can actually finish because it really, really fills you up. It looks like just a few rolls, but you take a few more bites and you will be filled. I don't even know if I can eat lunch at this point, but what a great little local place. People of all walks of life here in Sarajevo end up going to that place to have some incredible, incredible burek. So if you want to join in the locals, that's the way to do it right there. Yes. Okay. All right, for lunch today we've come to an incredibly famous place which is known for Bosnian food. In fact, the man who's sitting like right across from me is from here. Like this is the place where locals come to get their traditional food. And if you look at the decor, it's like very old Ottoman style Bosnian place. And we've got a couple of things. And I actually was like ordering, and the lady was like, okay, that's enough. Like stop. Like that should be enough for you. Got a few things that I'm really interested in trying and interested in showing you. First, we've got some spinach, and a lot of people are ordering the spinach. I figured this is probably something that's really, really good. They've got onions and meat together in this really unique combination. And then they've got this fried beef sort of patty thing. Never seen, I mean, I've seen spinach before, but I've never seen onions, like stuffed meat. And I've also definitely never seen like an entire fried beef thing. On the side, of course, there's also a little bit of bread, which I think we're going to use to dip up the sauce after everything's over. But first, let's go ahead and try the spinach. You can see it's not full pieces of spinach, but it's like completely been sort of ground down into like tiny little bits of it. So like, it's not the whole leaf anymore, it's like shreds of the actual leaf of the spinach left. Let's go ahead and try it out. Oh, that's so delicious. But because they've ground it up so much, it's like small, little, just melt in your mouth pieces of spinach that are just covered. I think it's butter. I think they cook it in butter. It's a little bit flavorful on the side, a little bit salty, but because they cut it down into such small pieces, it makes the texture of the spinach incredibly soft and incredibly tender, and it literally just melts in your mouth. That's the best way I can tell you this spinach. Like, I've never seen spinach done that respectfully. And actually, you know what? I think that's so good that I just need to instinctively take a piece of bread and get the spinach with it, because this is going to be an incredible combination. Let's try it out. The saltiness of the spinach with the bread. Wow. The bread is actually so soft. It's so incredibly soft. It's almost like a focaccia bread on the inside because it's so just nice and airy on the inside. That is incredible. The next thing I want to try is the onion stuffed meat, or meat stuffed onion. No, should be the other way around, right? Onion stuffed meat. And you literally see they put the meatball and they put an onion around it, and then they cook it like that. This is very traditionally Bosnian. I don't think I've ever seen this anywhere else in the world. Let's go ahead and try this out. I don't know who in Bosnia invented it, but that is a genius combination. The onion is stewed down to the point where it's just so soft, but at the same time the actual juices of the onion and the flavor of the onion get absorbed into the meat. So the meat itself is already savory, already got that umami, salty flavor to it, but on top of that, you've got the onion flavor seeping into the meat, making like this onion meatball that is honestly really, really incredible. Now, what I'm really the most excited by is this big fried beef thing. I don't know what it is. It's like a big fried meatball. I don't know. But let's go ahead and let's give it a big bite. I think that's my favorite one right there. The meat inside is like meat and I think a little bit of potato. And it's fried in an egg batter, so you taste a bit of egginess in the batter outside the actual beef. But it's not a patty. It's like minced up, not really compact. It's almost really loose. Like the flour, the batter is just holding it all together in just one little eggy sack there. And if it wasn't for that holding it together, the meat would just completely fall apart. I don't know how they make that because it's really hard. Usually you need to fry something, you gotta make it condensed enough in order for it to be fried. But it's so loose on the inside. It's so loose and it's like it literally falls apart once you bite into it. That it's really, really hard to make something like that. Now, to soak up all the sauces, of course, we've got some bread. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dip it in. Oh, we gotta try this out. It's the best of everything. It's the best of that salty fried beef. It's the best of those fried, sort of the onion meatballs. It's the best of the spinach. That is how you do a Bosnian lunch. And this place, it's as local as it is. The decor is completely Bosnian. It's so authentic. It's so traditional, and it feels like you stepped in time into your grandmother's kitchen to get some of the best Bosnian food you can find anywhere else in the world. If there's one place you gotta come to get lunch in Bosnia, it's this place, Bosnia Herezgovina. I think that's how you pronounce it. The crazy thing about this place is that it's so authentic and they don't really speak much English. But if you just point to the things that look good and you just are willing to try something new, there's gonna be some incredible food in there. And also, just a hint when you're coming to Bosnia, if there's ever a place that starts with Asinika, I think that's how you pronounce it, that's usually a good place. That's usually like a sign it's like a home cooking sort of place where you get to choose. And there's actually quite a few in the sort of area here. There's quite a few of these Asinikas all in the Ottoman old town in Sarajevo. But I've heard this one is amazing and it truly blew my mind away. But you know what we need right now? We need some desserts. So let's go see what Bosnian desserts have in store for us. Alright, just a few blocks down here in the old town, I've come to an amazing bakery. It's called Demirovic. And this is a place that's really famous. It's got great cakes, great pastries, great drinks, and it's been around since 1892. Right, not 1992, 1892. That's like a full 130 years that they've been around, which is pretty crazy. Now, here in Bosnia, I was curious what was the sort of the traditional desserts, and he pointed me to something called this. It's called a Sampita. I think what it's called. He said it's basically like a lot of foam cream over a little bit of a biscuit. He said that's something that's really, really popular. And of course, I wanted to get something to drink, so lemonade it is here in the Balkans. Let's go ahead and try the lemonade first, because I'm always dying to have some lemonade here in the Balkans. First off, the color of it looks pretty watery. I mean, look at the color of this. It doesn't exactly look like yellow or green or some other colors that I've had in the Balkans, but don't be fooled by the look of this lemonade. It is still filled with so much sweet lemony flavor. It's the perfect balance. Like, I wouldn't need to add any more sugar, but I wouldn't need to add any more lemon. It is literally perfect the way it is in terms of flavor. It is so good. And you can even see they're like floating little lemon bits inside. That's when you know it's really good lemonade. Okay, time for the Sampita, which is a sort of cream cake. Like I said, if you just like take a fork and dive into it, it's like you're cutting through a cloud. And if you look at it right now, it literally looks like a cloud. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of the bottom part, the brown layer, and a little bit of the white part. I'm going to try out basically Sampita, which I think is like a cloud cake. Let's go for it. That is literally like jumping through a cloud. It's literally so soft, it melts. It's like marshmallow foam. It's literally foam. It's like if you made a cake out of the soap foam that's at the top of a bathtub. That's what it will be. It would be this. It would literally be something like this. The bottom part, that cakey thing, it's not crispy. It's not like a bready thing. It's actually just kind of styrofoamy too. It's also in its own way very, very airy. And you can see actually in the bottom layer, you can see how airy it is by itself. I mean, he said it was like a creamy, cloudy, like sort of cake, and to be honest, that is exactly what it is. Just imagine marshmallow fluff cake. It's not too sweet, actually. I think it's perfect in terms of the actual flavor of the sweetness, but it's the texture that sort of, it's literally like biting into a cloud. That is what is so hard to wrap your mind around, but it is really, really good. And if you try this, if you come here, I would highly recommend you try this. They have so many cakes to choose from. So if you're done with this and you want another one, why not? You're in Bosnia. It's supposed to be the best time of your life in Bosnia. So live it up in Bosnia. Have a little Sampita, a little bit of lemonade, and trust me, you're gonna be good to go. sun has, well, it's at least starting to set here in the city of Sarajevo, and that means it is dinner time. It's actually summer, so it's almost like 8 p.m. and the sun is still in the process of setting simply because the days here tend to be longer during the summer. But I've got something that I've been dying to try all day because this is as classic as it gets when it comes to Bosnian food. This is something that is so authentic. There are at least like 100 different restaurants serving the same dish in the old town of Sarajevo, and that is cevapi. Bosnian cevapi is something that is very unique. They stuff the cevapi into a bread, and then, funnily enough, they serve you with a bit of onion. I mean, it's great. I don't think that's a bad combination at all, but that's just the way they do it here in Bosnia, which is very interesting. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to cut up a little piece of this bread with a cevapi on the inside. I mean, the bread looks so nice and airy, kind of like the one we have for lunch as well. Super nice and airy, almost like focaccia bread almost. And I'm going to put some onions inside the bread. All right, this is a big bite. Let's go for it. There are a couple of things going on here that make this one of the best bites of food you're gonna get in the whole world. The most important thing is the flavor. The flavor is so smoky, and I'm not just talking about the meat being smoky. The bread itself, it's like they dunked it in meat juices and put it on the same grill that the meat was roasted on. Actually, that's probably what they did. They probably roasted the bread on the same exact grill that the meat was. The meat is so soft, so tender. It's not bouncy. It's not like I cooked it, but it does just melt in your mouth because it is so smoky, and the juices, oh my god, I cannot tell you how juicy the cevapi is. It is leaking with juice the moment you take the first bite into that cevapi. And the best part, the onions. The onions give this sort of crunch because nothing about the cevapi itself is crunchy. The bread is nice, soft, and airy. The cevapi itself, nice, disintegrates, juicy. The onions, the raw onions, give this incredible crunch and a little bit of freshness to the entire cevapi itself that really sets it apart. For me, it's the flavor, the smokiness of it all. The reason I actually chose this place is when we were up at the viewpoint, this place was producing the most smoke, and that smoke was just lingering over the entire city. So I figured, if they're making that much smoke, their cevapi must be pretty good. So that's why I came down here and chose this place, and let me tell you, it was the right decision. You have to wait 20 minutes to get a table here. I mean, that's such a long time just to get some food, and it's packed with people all the time. Super, super popular. So locals know what they're choosing. This is what they've chosen, and the locals have spoken. And trust me, they've spoken correctly. This is an incredible deal. And also, the whole thing, I got one with 10 cevapi. You can choose 5 cevapi, 10 cevapi, or 15 cevapi. I've chosen with 10. It only costs 12 marks, which is relatively affordable considering that other places are charging at least 14 marks for just 10. So incredible price, incredible value, incredible taste, and it's like I could inhale the smokiness from the cevapi itself. Wow, what an incredible that meal was. I mean, like I said, total price of that was only 12 marka, and the thing is, the smokiness, that flavor of it, I mean, I'm sure others can replicate it as well, but that is good. That place has been around for over 30 years, since 1991. And there's a good reason for it. They make some amazing cevapi. I mean, I don't think I've had cevapi that good before, especially, like, I've had it in Kosovo and Serbia. That was way better. That just blew it out of the water. If you want really good cevapi, I would say Sarajevo, Bosnia is probably the best place to go. But with that, I have the perfect spot in mind for some dessert, so let's go see if it's still open. Final stop of the day, it's got to be dessert time. And we've come to a place known as Slastikarna Egipat, which is Egypt sort of dessert shop. Remember, Slastikarna is like a sweet shop, and it's named after Egypt apparently. It's got a very Egyptian theme, I guess. But what's crazy is that this place has been open since 1948, like right after World War II. That's when they started being open. I mean, it's crazy how much history is in here. And if you look at the decor just right behind me, tiled walls, those lamps, that is always a sign that it's a good place. Like, that is my criteria. So you've got tiled walls, you've got old tables, you've got little stools, and you've got great old ladies running the bakery. you know it's going to be a good sign. Okay, we've got a few amazing desserts that I want to share with you guys because these are traditional Bosnian desserts. Some of them you find in other countries in the Balkans, but some I've only seen here. Let's go ahead and start with the trileche. That's my favorite anyways. I gotta go with. You can see the swirls at the very top and that sort of caramelly layer. I have to try this out. So let's go ahead and give this a try. Oh, it's been such a long time since I've had an actually good trileche. That is amazing. What I like about this is that the cake is so sticky in this case, and I think that has to do with maybe the milk. I think they use maybe a different type of milk. It's a very sticky cake. It almost sticks to your teeth afterwards. Usually some of them are just like melt in your mouth or crumble, but this one is very sticky and I actually like that. It brings a sort of different texture to it. That caramel layer on top adds another layer of sweetness into the trileche. That's amazing. That is honestly such a good thing. Actually, you know what? I also got lemonade. I need to take a drink of this first. We got 2 lemonades today. That's 2 for 2. It looks like white, but what I'm realizing is that even though it looks white here in Bosnia, these have to be some of the best lemonades I've had in the Balkans. So that's saying a lot. Alright, let's try the krempita. As you can see, it's almost like it's jiggling. Can you see the krempita jiggling? It's like jiggling because of the cream there. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm just gonna go ahead and take, oh, I think I just destroyed the whole thing. Okay, let's go ahead and take an incredible bite. This is a little bit messy to eat because once you take it in, the whole thing crumbles, but let's go ahead and give it a try. What I love about this one, it's got an eggier taste to it. Usually when I have krempita, it's very creamy and that's great, but I like this one because it kind of feels like they added a little bit more egg, something eggier, and you can see the cream is very, very yellow. Other times I've had krempita, it's not as yellow, but this one is super yellow. I think they've added more eggs, which always makes it better. Final thing I've got here is a tufajie. This is the candied apple, and I mean, look at it. It's got a bit of cream on top. I think got a little like a caramelized, no, sorry, like a cherry on top, and then of course the entire apple below. This is something I've never seen before, and this is what my hostel host recommended. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take a big bite of this tufajie apple. It's apparently fruit, so I guess I'm eating my fruits today. So I'm being pretty healthy by having this as dessert. Let's go ahead and give this a try. Wow. The apple is not overly caramelized. A lot of times when you get like a sweet apple, it's just dumped in like sweet syrup to the point where it becomes soggy and it's disgusting. But this is amazing. It retains its sort of structure as an apple. Actually, you can see on the inside, it's still quite solid. It's not like falling apart. The cream at the very top isn't like a whipped cream. It's not as airy. It's a little bit thicker. And I actually like that because the apple is so soft. You have a little thicker layer of cream on the top to help to balance out the textures. Overall, this is amazing. Everything I have here has been incredible. I mean, they've been open since 1940. I mean, that's what, over 70 years of history, 80 years of, almost 80 years of history. There's a reason that they've been able to keep these recipes going for so long, and truly, the decor, the food, it's all perfect at this place. Just a quick addition to what I said earlier. The tufajie is great, apple. And I thought inside would be the seed of the apple and nothing else, but I am shocked. There's like a nutty paste inside. I think it's like walnut or something. And it's like sort of in the middle, stuck in the middle of the apple. It's like got an earthy, nutty taste that balances out the sweetness of the apple. The tufajie just like improved so much. It was already perfect, but it just got way better with that walnut sort of paste inside. Greatest surprise in a sort of sweetened apple I could ask for. The owners are so friendly. They want to show me this thing called tahan halva, which she says is very different, only found in Bosnia. Apparently it's a sesame halva that is incredible. That's like only found here in Bosnia. It is a little bit special, so I'm excited to try that out right now. Thank you so much. Okay, so this is apparently sesame halva. I don't think I've ever had anything like this before. I have to try this out. Oh, it's like, yeah, it's sesame, but it's not slatty, not too slatty, not too sweet. is perfect. It's not too sweet. It's very earthy. It's got a very earthy sesame. Yes, pasta sesame, exactly. It's like a sesame paste. Sesame paste that they've made into this helva. Wow, that is amazing. That is so good. Thank you. This is perfect. Thank you. What flavor is this? Okay, special feature. Okay, so now it's ice cream time. Flavor? No? Vanilla. Okay, vanilla. Oh yeah, caramel. Yeah, caramel. Again, not too sweet. They balance out the flavors really well. It's more milky than it is sweet, and it provides like the perfect balance. And yeah, that actually works out really well at the end of the day. Thank you so much. I really thank you. This was amazing. It was really good. Thank you so much, okay? One thing I love about the Balkans is that the people here are incredible, and I think that is the best evidence of that. First off, she wouldn't let me pay. She refused to let me pay, but I ended up saying, I'm gonna do the math, I'm gonna count the prices, and I ended up paying her myself. But then at that point, she got me this whole sesame paste for me to take home, this sesame helva. I can't stress enough how the people in the Balkan are so real, but they're so nice, and they're some of the most incredible people you're gonna meet. That place, if you're in Sarajevo, please visit them. The desserts are top notch, and I'm telling you this as someone who has been to so many Balkan countries and tried so many desserts. That is so good. And usually I would say, oh, the Tufajie is the best, but the fact is that though at that shop specifically, each dessert really gave Tufajie a run for its money. The sweetened apple, the surprise inside was totally unexpected, and the Sampita was so eggy. I've never had one that's as eggy as the one I had just now. So really, I cannot definitively say that the Tufajie was straight up the best. That would just be a lie. So when you're here in Sarajevo, go visit that store. It is incredible. So now, we've had an incredible food day today. I have an entire bag of sesame helva to end off the night, but it has just been an incredible opportunity, from Javapi to visiting these little eateries and Burek in the morning. The food here in Bosnia has just completely blown me away, and if you're in Sarajevo, you're gonna eat really well. I think everybody who has come to Bosnia has told me that the food here is probably the best part of Bosnia, and I don't doubt that for a single second. So when you're here, try all the food that Sarajevo has to offer, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye guys.